First of all, can you introduce yourself for us, please?
My name is Chris Kehler from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Where's your last name from? Is that German?
Kehler is German. Yes, both my parents were very much German.
Yeah.
German descent.
So, can you tell us a bit about what you do, please?
What it is I do is it's something called true quantum healing. I work in the whole realm of the ability to heal anybody's health problem that you're experiencing, and this goes very deep into the whole concept of spiritual attachments, different types of energy manipulation, let's say, working in the realm of extraterrestrial interference, particularly the reptilian realm. And the reptilian realm is a very big concept within humans. It's something that is very misunderstood, but we're learning more every day about it. And we also get into the whole aspect of physical ailments. So if somebody's experiencing cancers or any kind of diseases like diabetes, ALS, we can get into the whole aspect physically of what's causing that. So that could be, bacterial infections, different types of deficiencies, whatever. No matter what is causing your health problem, with the system that I've created called True Quantum Healing, we can find out within a very short period of time exactly what's interfering with your health.
So, are you a hybrid or?
I don't really consider myself a hybrid. I think it's more so somebody who is, let's say, gifted with the opportunity to make this all happen. I haven't been doing this all my life. It was about 12 years ago or so when my first wife passed away. I was able to retire from the printing industry. I was a printer for almost 30 years. That was my trade. That was what I did for a living. And when I retired at the age of 47, pretty young as far as I'm concerned, a door opened. Let's say a door opened that showed me all of this. And basically I met people who do this type of work, and I found it very interesting. And before then, I never had any concept whatsoever of what this all is and what is all out there in the form of energy. Okay, so I was slowly shown different things about it and learned things as I went. So hybrid, I'm sure I think as humans, we all are some kind of hybrid. We all have different aspects of DNA ratios within our body from different forms of ET who have contributed, let's say, to the creation of this seeding of humanity. So hybrid, yeah, I guess you could say that, but I'm going to say more so somebody who was, let's say, shown this type of work, and I went right for it.
Did you come across this information?
Well, my family comes from a very stringent Christian Mennonite background. So lots of religion, lots of the Christian religion, lots of Mennonite types of traditions, and Mennonite is pretty close to Amish, so a lot of ritual type activities would happen. We were still able to watch TV and use a telephone and that type of thing. It wasn't very stringent, but it was very expected that you went to church, that you followed certain types of protocols within this belief system. So my family very was drawn from this. It was I guess you can call me almost like a black sheep that brought me here. The way it all happened, again, it was my first wife that passed away that allowed me to retire from the printing industry. And then a friend of mine came to my house and we're having coffee, and she said, "You know what, Chris, you might want to consider doing some alternative therapies for yourself, because you've been in the printing industry for 30 years and you've got a lot of toxins built up in your body." I said, be quiet, shut up, get me another beer, okay? So I had no inclination whatsoever about this. So, but one day I'm walking in a mall within my city of Winnipeg, and I look up at a sign, and I pass this sign probably a million times. We lived in the same house for so long, always went to the same mall shopping. And I looked up at it and it said, foot bath detox. And I said to myself, I think I'm supposed to go in there. So I thought my curiosity got me, and I walked in that door. And right there, the fellow who did the detoxes started showing me this stuff called muscle testing, and telling me a few things about myself that I didn't know. I was heavy into bodybuilding. And he says, oh, you have a rib that's out of place. I go, yeah, how did you know that? He says, your body told me. I says, what do you mean my body told you? And he explained how it worked, that you can ask questions upon the body, upon the body's energy, and get an answer by tapping your fingers, doing muscle testing. So we ended up talking more about it, and I was starting to get some interest. And sure enough, there is somebody in the Winnipeg area that taught how to do this. And after a while, spending some time with this gentleman, I thought, you know what, I got nothing better to do. Here I am sitting here retired, and nothing much better to do. So I took the course, and I picked up on it very, very quickly. And from there, it just escalated to meeting more and more people in different cities in Canada. Alberta is a very big hub for this type of work. And I met a few people there that really showed me that the whole concept and it's all of its forms of how to work with energy, how to figure things out, how to ask questions to obtain knowledge and answers from the universe. Okay, the universe, you ask a question, boom, here it comes. If you ask the question the right way, you also get the right answer. So that's how it all got started. Just following my subconscious, my intuition that said, go through that door and check it out. Just have a look. And here we are today, 12 years later. I have a full practice in a healthcare facility, and I have clientele booked until January, and we're making changes. We're making differences. We're helping people with these problems, health problems, financial problems, spiritual problems, soul problems. No matter what it is, we're finding the energies involved, moving them out of the way, and allowing the person to get control back of their life. Yeah, the reptilian concept. Now, of course, the big question is, why are we here? What's going on? What is the big deal? We are here in a very big way. There's a few different concepts. Now, a lot of people, when you think reptilian, people have listened to David Icke, Corey Good, and all of the people who put a lot of effort into presenting the reptilian concept to humanity. But what I found is that we are here as a food source for the reptilians. They live off of certain energies that are created from our fear, our hate, our anger, and various energies like that. Jealousy is a very big one, and it creates an energy called loosh, which they feed off of. We eat plants and animals and that type of thing. They eat this energy that keeps them going. So we're here for that reason. We're here for experimentation. We're here for our souls. That they really want to have our souls. The souls are like, let's say, a commodity in the universe. So as a human, we have very powerful souls. Our will, our minds, our intent is very, very strong. So if they can have hold of that, it could almost be like a weapon. Now, the reptilians are known for going to different systems, different planets, conquering them and moving on. It's very much an assimilation with them. Another concept that is showing a lot of validity is that at one time, as humans, we may have been a reptilian, okay?
Yes.
And there was an opportunity that happened, a shift of energy in the universe that allowed us as a reptilian to reincarnate here on Earth as a human. And that would allow us to go into the ascension process, to go into a higher level of knowledge, higher level of energy, and distance ourselves from those reptilian forms of behavior, because they're very, very, let's say, mean and nasty. So a lot of us, we wanted to get away from it. It's almost like you're in a gang and you want to leave the gang, and you find a way out, and you get out.
Yeah.
Basically, I use one crystal, and I'll show it to you. This is it here. Okay, this is called a mondolite. Now, this is the structure of it is an iron quartz composite, and the purpose of it, the energy purpose of it, is to work within the soul. And whenever we're doing work on anybody, we're starting within the soul, doing soul clearings and working through the soul into the astral bodies, into the etheric bodies, into the physical body. So that is a stone that is very, very much needed for this type of work. Now, the mondolite is one of the most rarest stones on the planet, only because nobody can get a permit to mine it within the Sahara Desert where they found it. So I was fortunate enough to be able to obtain a piece of it. That was a very costly piece at that, but I find it very, very instrumental with working in the soul and different areas of dimensional purpose also.
So, can I ask how you came across that information that you needed that crystal?
The person that I work with, I have someone who could be considered a mentor, and he is the person who designs all these tools I use. I've got many different forms of them that I work with. I've got that big one. I've got different rings, different sacred geometry, different forms of it that I use within the healing process. His name is Wayne Gatos. The name of his company is Crystalline Incorporated in Alberta, Canada.
We'll link that below for you.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, he does give me a lot of insight. His job, the way he makes money, is to make these tools and sells them worldwide. And I'm a Canadian distributor of them. But his purpose here on this planet is to keep clearing energies out of the Earth grid to allow for the ascension process to go forward. So basically, he's extremely high in energy, high in knowledge, and he does bring a lot of different opportunities my way in order to know where to go next, and am I going down the right direction, and that type of thing. So he is very, very instrumental with the whole concept of the energies, the planetary energies, the universal energies, human energies, etc. He has a great knowledge of the whole reptilian concept of why we're here. I know that there are many types. We just lump them all into one,
Right.
and move them all out as one. The end games now. We are getting very close to the let's call it the game of duality, and the game of duality is basically living side by side, reptilians, humans. Okay, the Draco reptilians. What I do is I separate Dracos and reptilians. So if we did come from another timeline to reincarnate here, we were a Draco reptilian, a higher level reptilian. So that that is more of a concept. But as far as the end games go, the ascension, what I'm seeing within my work and the knowledge that I'm gaining is that we are getting closer, closer, and closer to the ending this game of duality. So let's say if 1 week I'm removing reptilians out of the soul of people, the next week I'm not, because that energy is processed. And we're the Earth grid, because it's being cleared, is clearing all of this away. Once the Earth grid is cleared, then we can go into the person and easily remove all those energies, and they'll just happen on their own as we go.
Do you remove parasites as well, or is that a myth that they parasitically take over someone?
The parasite concept is a very huge one, and what we need to do to remove parasites is to understand what they are, how they're within our body, and what they're able to do. So when I look at the parasite, or some people call it an implant, is to learn exactly what it is. And what's been brought to me is that the reptilian parasite, or the implant, is something called a bacteriophage, which is if you go on the internet and you Google the word bacteriophage, you're going to see a scanning electron microscope view of something that looks a bit like a robot, something that looks a bit like a cybernetic organism, and that this is what takes over our bodies. And what this does is it connects up to our bacteria system, our good bacteria, and it injects its DNA and injects its RNA into us, and it starts to replicate. So whatever it injects into us, whatever it's programmed to inject into us, will start to create itself. and so it could create different scenarios within your body, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It could take over in that way. So that the parasitic concept, if you look at like, let's say, a worm parasite, like a tapeworm or a roundworm, those can be created shamanically through a reptilian. They're very much into witchcraft and very much into shamanism to just will something into your body. And that's what they do with a lot of people, with their scenarios that keep on going on and on and on. So that could easily be done that way. So we remove both. We remove the energetic parasite, or the implant, and then we can go after all of the 3D worm parasites. I do get lots of messages that there is underground hives of different reptilians. I've heard lots of different stories about different things. Ultimately, the belief system really gets tested when you hear a lot of different things, and we can easily be led astray as to exactly where they are. Now, I've seen one right in front of my face. I was kind of between sleep and awake. And I was very much awake, but eyes closed and just getting ready to doze off. All of a sudden, he was right here in front of my face in my third eye. I saw the colors of his skin. I saw the slitty eyes, and I saw his eyes kind of going back and forth, saying, "What's in this guy? I want to see what this guy's all about." And I looked at him straight in the eye and I said, "Boo," and he took off. So they're very much afraid of us. But there is the concept of him, I think, is more etheric, working through the ethereal realms to gain access. If you consider that a lot of people got to wear glasses, okay, a lot of eyesight problems out there. That's because they're viewing through our eyes. They're viewing what's going on through our eyes. There are etheric reptilians behind us, manipulating us. They're in the etheric. There are many different ways because they are multidimensional. So there's so many different possibilities. A lot of people say that the queen is a reptilian. This person's reptilian. The Rothschilds are reptilian. But you look at them and they look perfectly human. But then those people will say, "Oh, but they're shapeshifters. They can shapeshift back and forth." And you always hear stories about the shapeshifting. Yeah. Possibly, sure, why not? Yeah, and that one thing I understand is that the more of the reptilian DNA and bloodline you have within you, you are able to shapeshift back and forth.
Right. Okay.
But whether everybody speculates it and talks about it. Oh, Adele shapeshifted in front of her fans. Well, I kind of don't take much into that because number one, there's a lot of bull on the internet these days. Yeah. And then for a lot of people, until you see it yourself, it's just a story.
Yeah.
Well, basically, if anybody has any kind of health problem, again, health problem, spiritual problem, emotional problem, whatever, if you know that there's something wrong in your life and you don't want to go to a doctor and get pills or go to a psychiatrist and have them talk down to you and make you feel insignificant. So people will search out somebody within my capacity. And there's many people who do this type of work who are very good at it. So when somebody comes to me, what we do is create a focus. What do you want to accomplish today? What's bothering you? And people will tell me, well, I have let's say a very irritable bowel, I have migraines, I have financial difficulties, I can never find the right person to spend my life with. Whatever that issue is, we create a focus around it. So then I'll ask them questions if there's a family history, if there's any kind of triggers for anything, and then create a focus and start asking questions. With my chart system that I've created, I do a pendulum dowsing with it, and I get led in the direction of what areas in the body to clear and what is a stressor to clear. So in many situations, we may need to clear curses out of the soul. We may need to lift different types of voodoo type energies from somebody. We may need to clear connections to past lives and so on. So it's a very much an onion peeling type of session where we just keep on clearing. There's never just one problem. There's always going to be multiple problems within something specific. What I'm dealing with is source energy, source knowledge. So straight to the source. This is love, soul, source. So I just ask questions out loud, and it's coming from a specific type of energy, which is source.
So this is
And
something you've designed yourself, is this?
yes, it's
Right,
it's it's it's,
okay.
it's something I've designed myself. But as far as where the answers come from, my soul will go and look for them and
Right.
bring them back to me. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a soul type of journey.
So is it sort of an astral projection or a third eye, would you say?
No, no, we're not using third eye. We're just asking
Yeah.
asking questions, getting the answers with the pendulum.
Right, right.
Well, basically, here is a pendulum. Okay, these are special designed for me by one of my students, and then we have a whole series of charts that I've developed. Okay, it goes into many different areas, different stressors, different parts of the body, and basically it would just be swinging the pendulum over a chart, asking a question.
Hmm.
So we'd ask, what problem do we need to work on
Yeah.
within,
Right.
and it would start to give us answers. Now within the spiritual body, within the astral body, is a disconnect with source. So we would start by reconnecting everything that's disconnected from source back to source, and then start clearing stressors out of the body and out of the energies. My website is chriskehler.net, KEHLER.net.
Right.
Right now we are booked up till January. I do have little openings here and there for emergencies and that
Yeah.
type of thing, or people who need an extra session. But ultimately, right now, yeah, we're booking into January, and people are willing to wait because we're getting results, we're getting answers, and that's what people are looking for.
That's great.
That's basically it. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, how come you just don't use your hands? And I reply, yes, I do use my hands because my hands are touching the sacred geometry. Now, the concept of sacred geometry, that geometry is let's call it the language of the universe. Everything is mathematics. Everything is geometry. So when we're using the sacred geometry, now this one here specifically, it's called a Vesica Pisces, and its geometry is designed to work within the divine feminine of the universe. So it's a much subtler energy. It's a much different energy that we're now into. We're into the age of Aquarius, which is the divine feminine. So we're using a tool that fits right in with it. So we're harmonizing with where we are right now, let's say. So when I'm moving some entities out of somebody, and I tell a tool to remove the entities, it doesn't go through me. Whereas a lot of people who do hands-on stuff, that entity might go through them to pass over, in which case they may get infected. They may get a residual of that energy and cause them problems down the road. But the sacred geometry itself takes care of all that. It amplifies my intent. And basically, this is all intent. We're just saying the words, intending to move these energies, and through quantum physics, boom, it happens very instantly, and people will feel a change almost right away. If you have an ache or a pain or something going on, you can actually feel it moving right away. You feel a lifting and that type of thing. So the sacred geometry is very, very important with what I'm doing to actually facilitate the clearing. All I'm doing is saying the words, putting the intent into motion, and the geometry is taking care of all the rest. A lot of students, a lot of people are very interested in how this is working, and on my website.
Yeah, so you're teaching people now.
Yeah, on my website, you can actually buy the course, and it's $2,000, but it gets you everything you need to get started.
Right.
And if you're a person interested in it but not too sure, there's some free charts that you can download and print off, and you can watch a video that I put along with it, and you can get started and see if the dowsing is going to work for you, see if you feel comfortable with it or not. So you can basically take the course for a test drive and see if it works for you.
Oh, that's fantastic, yeah.
Again, the concept of the reptilians is very broad, and I do get messages, okay, like almost like some people get psychic messages through their when you're meditating or something. And one of the messages I often get is daytime is nighttime, nighttime is daytime, meaning that whatever we think is a good thing is actually a bad thing. So the reptilians have put a lot of things in place. So what we believe is a good thing within religion is actually a bad thing. It's all a control mechanism. All these wars are being fought over religion, over greed. And that's what the reptilians do is they create all these scenarios to create this energy, this angst, this anger, this war energy, so that they can feed. Whenever there's a war and people die, they feast. Okay, they are there gathering up as much as they can. The concept of these pedophilia rings is very much a reality, because the reptilians are very much in control of all this. They want the young children, because that's the energy that they like the best. They will actually consume human flesh. And if you look around enough and you do the research, there's a lot of children that go missing and they're never found. And this could be one of the possibilities, that this is going on at certain levels. The whole concept of Pizzagate, there's some validity to it. It's a lot of it is made up stuff, but there is at the deep core of it, there is validity along with it.
Well, I was watching Joe Rogan the other night, and he said it was 800,000 children a year go missing in USA. 800,000.
Look at that, eh? So, even if that number is ramped up a little bit, it's still a very high number.
Yeah.
So where are they going? I mean, there is a lot of concept of the underground sex ring, child sex ring, which just makes my stomach turn to think about it. But that is very much a reality. All of these types of things going on, because the people taking part, let's call that a ritual sacrifice. Whenever a child is used in that type of energy, it is a sacrificial energy of that child's soul, of that child's spirit. So that person is now very much involved with the reptilian concept of things. I am working with somebody right now whose child, this person is very, very convinced and knows that the child in front of him is not her child. That this is a clone. This is something that has been presented to her, because her real child has been taken away and has been put within that whole concept of ritual. And this person is very, very intuitive and says, that person there is not my child, only because she feels so strongly about it. So we're working very deep within there to try and come up with a scenario energetically to possibly either release her child or have something happen to bring her child back to her. So that concept of ritual is very, very big. Anytime that let's say there is a molestation of a young child with a father, an uncle, a cousin, what that does at the very root level is create an energy of sacrificial ritual. Again, it's like being on an altar, and this person's energy and soul being offered to these reptilians, so that this person may get something out of it. Could be almost anything, but the ritual is very much a very big concept of being in a reptilian type of scenario.
Well, I found something shocking out the other night. I was just sat on the couch and it just came to me. I was watching a video and it came to me, where did the word celebrity come from? So I did look a bit of research, and everyone thinks it's from celebrate, but it's not. It's from solemn, right? And if you look into what solemn means, it means marked for religious. And then if you look what rite means, rite is a form of religious ceremony, and it could mean a sacrificial rite or a birthing rite. Now, when you put these two words together, it says marked for holy sacrifice.
Well, if you look at, you go to movie stars, you go to musicians, and there's a lot of really good musicians out there that aren't famous because they haven't sold their soul. If you there's a curse called the curse of 27. Look at Kurt Cobain, look at Janis Joplin, look at Jimi Hendrix. They all died at 27. And they were very, very famous. They're at the top of their game. So when you do become famous, and this is something that's generally created before you're born, is you make a deal with the devil or a reptilian in order that you're going to be famous, but you need to give up your soul at a certain time. It's an agreement, a vow that you create. So the whole concept of all of these musicians doing lots of drugs, all these celebrities, these movie stars doing what they do. They do some crazy things. Look at Beyonce. Who's it? Beyonce and Jay-Z or somebody. I don't know. They give
throwing up the Illuminati triangle all the time, and
they're giving their kids
covering the one eye. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're doing all that stuff, and I've seen it many times. You know, you look at professional basketball players, professional sports people. They're always doing some kind of ritual with their hands and fingers. Look at gang members. They're always doing this ritual stuff. And that is a sign that, yeah, I've given up my soul to be here, and I may benefit from it one way, shape, or form. You know, again, that is extremely huge. You see it everywhere. Basically, you know, access my website, chriskehler.net. I do carry quite a few of the tools that I use within my practice available for sale. Some tools are smaller for a personal size. I have larger ones that really facilitate for somebody who wants to do professional clearings, work if you're a massage therapist or a Reiki therapist and you want to incorporate the tools. They're a professional model that you can use along with them. The course is doing very well. I have 47 students worldwide. Just brought a few people on, one in Hong Kong, one in Vienna, Austria, and I have a few students in India, Croatia, the UK, everywhere. I have people many places all over the world, and they're learning how to do this. And I'm teaching people as we go. So if you have questions, I'm here to give answers. You don't just buy it and good luck with it. We're here to help, and you're also part of a community. So everyone in the States, worldwide, who takes part in this course has the availability to speak with other students, see how they're doing, ask questions, get answers, and help you along your way. Because everybody uses this a little differently. I use it differently than the next guy I sold it to. They'll incorporate it maybe with one of their other modalities. So it's something that can be taken and formed for your belief system, formed for your research system, however you want to use it. It is something that can be, you don't have to follow it directly. You can incorporate it. And a lot of people do that. So everybody's getting different ideas, different suggestions, and different answers as to how to work with things.
Okay.
Well,
right.
this pendulum is orgone. Okay.
Right.
We use a lot of orgone energy, which is chi energy.
Yeah,
That is what gives you your vitality. So when you're doing energy clearing and you feel very tired afterwards, you need to increase your chi energy. So we use orgone to help facilitate with that. And I've got it all over my office to keep energy up. Yes. I mean, ultimately there are ways in order to get past certain situations in your life, to get past certain things you're experiencing. And there's a lot of information out there. There's tons of it, and some of the information is not very credible. I always suggest to people that if you're looking for some help, you want to access somebody who is knowledgeable, somebody who's been around a while, and somebody who seems to be somewhat popular, but ultimately you want to feel in your heart. Okay, you want to think heart, mind. Does it feel good within your heart to work with this person? Okay, I'm not the only guy out there. There's many other people to access, but always feel in your heart. Is that the right thing to do?